Could a blockbuster trade for Joel Embiid come for the Miami Heat over the next year or so? There is some drama in Philadelphia regarding the 76ers and Embiid, and with his slow start to the season and preface on slow, there are some talks of maybe if he could get traded, and there was a lot of chatter on Heat Twitter on if Miami should be interested. I'm going to go through the backstory of the drama in Philly, talk about what I think, and then ultimately give my answer at the end of today's show. But let's jump right into the drama in Philly because Shams Charania dropped this note yesterday morning about how after the Monday night game between Miami and Philly, Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid. And in the meeting, Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the former league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room. From other players to the coaching staff, sources briefed on meeting told ESPN. And it hasn't been paradise for Philadelphia early in the season as they are 2-11, but there could be trouble brewing in Philly. Embiid has only played in 3 games so far this season. The Sixers are 2-11. Paul George is not playing well, and that contract looks mighty big. And Tyrese Maxey has been out with injury. This is teetering on disaster in Philadelphia. And is there a way that they blow up this roster at the end of the season? And I will tell you why it will not be during the season at the deadline later on in the show. But could they choose to go in a different direction after this disastrous season concludes if they don't turn it around? Maybe. And why would Embiid want to come to Miami if a trade actually happened? Well, he's really close with his good friend Jimmy Butler, saying that after this game on Monday between Miami and Philly, that Jimmy's one of the best players in the league, probably top 5, probably the best actually. And we know that Jimmy Butler is really close with Joel Embiid, dating back to the one season he played in Philadelphia with Embiid, where they came up just short thanks to the Kawhi Leonard miracle shot. The two were really close. And we also know that Jimmy Butler, I think, wanted to stay in Philadelphia. And in all honesty, that's truth. I think if we look back on that in the 2018-2019 season, Jimmy wanted to stay in Philly with Embiid. But the issue was they didn't want to pay Jimmy what he wanted. Tobias Harris was an option, and then the Ben Simmons fiasco. The fiasco. Yes. Good wording here on a Wednesday morning. But either way, that's kind of what forced Jimmy out and ultimately coming to Miami Heat via that sign-in trade. So maybe the two would like to play with each other once again, but maybe that's also on a different team next year, not in Miami, because Jimmy is going to be a free agent in all likelihood. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we have trade rumors, watch parties for almost every game, and Miami Heat breakdowns. We are the largest independently run Miami Heat YouTube channel there is. Continue to join us here as we continue to grow the rocket ship on the road to 16K subs. All right, let's get back to Joel Embiid now because I'm not sure Joel Embiid is that guy anymore. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But with the injuries that he suffered last season and then what we've seen this beginning of the year, his conditioning, he just might not be that guy anymore. He's played in 3 games. So he's missed 10 games. He's only playing 3. And the numbers aren't pretty. Not one bit. Highest scoring output was 20 points, has not had 10 rebounds, and it's not like he's playing in 15 minutes in a spot because he's getting back into condition. No, he's still playing around 30 minutes a game. He hasn't been as efficient. He has not been getting to the free throw line as much, and he just has not been the same guy visually. And you see the numbers on screen, but it also takes a step further. When you think about the eye test and just watching Joel Embiid play basketball, it has not been the same. He looks slow and unathletic when you're watching him go out and play on a night-to-night basis. And when you talk about what he did last season as well, it has been an utter disaster. He only played in 39 games last season. He averaged a very good point total, but he could not stay on the floor. Embiid was not good last season when he was able, and when you talk about in terms of being able to be on the floor. And we know that he did not play that well in the postseason as well. Embiid has slowly been on a decline right now, and it's not ideal if you are thinking about acquiring this type of player when you think about the injury history, the conditioning, and the lack of ability to get to the rim and finish, because if he's not getting to the free throw line, it's really just face-up mid-range jumpers at this point, because he has not been good from beyond the arc this season as well. We're going to talk more about Embiid here, but would you trade for Joel Embiid to get him in the Miami Heat system? Type Y for yes or type N for no. My answer on this topic will be coming at the end of today's show, so stick around, but you might be able to gather where I'm going with this based off some of these other points I'm going to bring up, like Joel Embiid's contract, which could be an utter disaster. Remember, folks, Joel Embiid signed a 3-year, $194 million extension this offseason, which makes him not being able to be traded until after this year. He cannot be traded at the deadline because he signed a recent max extension. It would have to be in the offseason. And you look at that extension. He's under contract next year. Next year is the last year of his current deal, but then the 3-year extension kicks in 26, 27, where he's now going to be paid $60 million, $64 million. And then culminating in that 28-29 season where he is getting paid $69 million. He is a player option in that year, but I am willing to put a substantial amount of money on it personally that he will accept that player option, because I don't think he's going to be a $69 million player in that season when he's 33, 34, when you already see how he's looking now at age 30 with all of these injuries. And I'll go a step further. Before the contract extension kicks in, so he's under contract for 3 seasons, possibly 4 with the player option. Before the extension actually comes in the 26-27 season, I think we're going to be looking at Joel Embiid as the worst contract in the entire NBA. He simply is not capable of playing more than 55 games a season right now. I think that is fair to say. He played 39 last year. I don't think he's going to play more than 55 this year with the injuries. And as he gets older and older, the injuries are only going to mount up. He's going to become even less athletic. Like, is this a player that's going to be able to give you what he's worth on the floor in limited games with that contract? I don't think so. And then you start to add in the fact that he has never got it done in the postseason and constantly shrivels up. Like, this is going to be a disaster. I don't care if he's your second, third option. Just the way he would handicap your ability to create a roster that's well-balanced because of his contract, but you also add in the fact he's missing games and not showing up in the playoffs. This could be a disaster of a contract for any team that acquires him, but specifically the 76ers. We're going to talk about what a package would look like on my final idea on Joel Embiid, but we're going to have to tell you about our proud sponsor here, which is DraftKings. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams, split into 6 groups, every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEATCHAT. That's code HEATCHAT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And my plays today in the association, I only got 2 of them, 2 straight bets. I got Jalen Green, 25-plus points. It's plus 155, but playing the Pacers at home, we know Indiana likes to run and gun. I think Houston will get in a track meet, and Jalen Green will get out in transition and score a bunch. Dyson Daniels, 3-plus steals. Unreal that 3-plus steals is minus 125, but he averages like 4 steals a game. He's been sensational in Atlanta to start the year. Lines and odds subject to change, but make sure you get started with the only sportsbook that I use, DraftKings. Use promo code HEATCHAT when downloading DraftKings to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place a $5 wager. Shout out to DraftKings. All right, let's get into the back half of today's show now and on what would a Joel Embiid trade cost if you're the Miami Heat. Well, I went to the board and developed what a trade would look like in the offseason. And this is what I came up with. And this might honestly be too much if you're the Miami Heat. But the Heat get Joel Embiid, Reggie Jackson, and Adem Bana for Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, and a 2029 first-round pick that is top 5 protected. Like I honestly would have to say here, after making this trade, I don't think if I were to make a move for Embiid, I would include a first-round pick since you'd have to include Bam because Bam and Embiid would not be able to play together whatsoever. So get that out of your head that you could trade Tyler Hero and other draft capital for Embiid because Bam and Embiid would not be able to play together. They would not fit offensively whatsoever. They both like to live in the mid-range. They don't shoot efficiently from three yet. So that won't work. So I think you'd have to trade Bam to get Embiid, and I'm not in the business of doing that. But like I said, the trade would have to be in the offseason for two reasons. Because if you're trading Bam Adebayo, it has to be in the offseason due to his max extension that he signed this past offseason. And Embiid signed that 3-year Supermax as well with the Sixers, and you have to wait a full season to do so to make a trade on one of those players. So if you had to execute this trade, it would be in the offseason. It would not help the Miami Heat this year. So with that being said, would you accept this trade in the offseason? Type A for accept or type D for decline. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I'm typing my D's, and there is no way that I trade for Joel Embiid, whether it be at the deadline, if it was even possible, or whether it be in the offseason. Sent this tweet out yesterday when a lot of Heat Twitter was talking about an Embiid trade. There is no world where I trade for Joel Embiid, by the way. I'm telling you, no world. I would never want to employ that loser that is Joel Embiid. He does not play half the games. We talk about Jimmy Butler not playing games. Well, Embiid is worse at this point. He will never play another back-to-back in his life. He load manages more than any other player in the NBA, and he's unwatchable. I don't care that the numbers are solid when you look at him. He is unwatchable. Why would I ever want to watch a center hold the ball for 10 seconds, facing up in the mid-post, and then foul baiting, trying to get to the line? Unwatchable. He doesn't defend when it matters. He shrivels in the playoffs. I would never trade for Joel Embiid. You maybe could convince me on a hero and draft capital for Embiid. But even then, I don't think it would work because I don't think Bam and Joel could play together. And I'm certainly not trading Bam. Has Bam gotten off to a rough start offensively this year? Absolutely. But when you take into factor the cost of contract, the youth of Adebayo, I guess I'll say, like, the consistency of Bam as well, because he is there on a night-to-night basis. Like, there is just no way that I am trading for Joel Embiid anyway, ever, especially if it would cost you Bam. So no, 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 no. All right, you can disagree with me down in the comments section, but, well, we're going to still be here every day dropping content, whether it be videos, whether it be watch parties. No game until Sunday afternoon for whatever reason, so videos in between now and then. Hit that sub button because we're here every single day. Go Heat.